Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful and profitable tech companies you've probably never even heard of, AppLovin. We're going to pull back the curtain on a business model that is hiding in plain sight and is frankly just mind-bending. All right, let's get into it.
So it all starts with this one almost unbelievable question. How is a company that you probably don't know, operating in the background of mobile apps, somehow generating a higher profit margin than a global titan like Meta?
And here it is. This is the number at the very heart of the mystery, 82%. In a recent quarter, for every single dollar AppLovin brought in, 82 cents was profit, before all the boring stuff like interest and taxes. That measure is called adjusted EBITDA. And let me tell you, that figure is an absolute freak of nature in the tech world.
And this chart just puts it in perfect perspective. I mean, look at this. Meta, a company that is famous for being a profit machine, is way down at 48%. And the average for the entire ad tech industry, just 35%. AppLovin isn't just winning here, they're playing a completely different sport.
So how on earth is this possible? That brings us to our first section, the 82% profit anomaly. Our mission here is to really dissect this number and figure out the mechanics behind this incredible performance. The secret sauce isn't really selling software in the traditional sense. The core of their business is this idea called algorithmic arbitrage. So what does that mean? In simple terms, their AI predicts how much money you, as a user, are worth to an advertiser. Then it goes out and buys an ad to show you for less than that amount, and they just pocket the difference. It's like a high-speed trading operation, but for your attention.
All right, so that brings us inside the money machine itself. Let's look at the specific tech that makes this kind of arbitrage possible on a massive, massive scale. You know, to really understand AppLovin, you only need to remember two names. The whole thing, this entire complex operation, it all boils down to two platforms that work together perfectly, Max and Axon.
Okay, first up is Max. The best way to think about Max is like an air traffic controller for the entire mobile ad world. It sits inside thousands of different apps, and it runs a lightning-fast auction for every single ad you see. But, and this is the most important part, because Max runs the auction, it gets to see everybody's bid. It sees what Google is bidding, what Meta is bidding, what everyone is bidding. This gives it a level of market vision that is just a huge, almost unfair data advantage.
And all of that incredible data from Max gets piped directly into the brain of the operation, Axon 2.0. This thing is like an AI fortune teller. It just inhales all that market data, and then it predicts with scary accuracy the odds that you'll install a certain app and exactly how much money you're likely to spend in it. And based on that prediction, it places the perfect, precise bid to get your attention for a profit.
But here's the thing. To unlock this crazy 82% margin, AppLovin had to completely change who they were. So let's talk about that. Section 3, shedding the gamer skin. This is the story of the one strategic move that changed everything for them.
You see, for years, AppLovin had this fundamental conflict of interest. This quote explains it perfectly. They were the casino, providing the ad technology for everyone to use, but they were also a player at the table, because they owned a bunch of game studios that competed with their own clients. It was a huge problem, and it was holding them back.
So, they made a really radical move. They sold off their entire portfolio of game studios. This was their great divergence. It transformed them, literally overnight, from this messy, complicated company into a pure, high-margin software platform. They made a choice. They were going to be the casino and only the casino. And the results? Well, they were immediate and absolutely explosive. You can see it right here in the numbers. In the quarters right after the sale, their revenue growth stayed incredibly high, but now, without the low-margin gaming business dragging everything down, that revenue translated into the insane profitability we're talking about today. So now that they're this lean, mean software machine, they set their sights on a brand new target. Section 4, the new whale hunt. This is all about them expanding way beyond their traditional home turf of gaming. So today, while mobile gaming is definitely still their bread and butter, you can see this significant new slice of the pie has popped up, e-commerce. They realized their AI was good for a lot more than just finding gamers. And really, the logic behind this expansion is just beautifully simple. The exact same AI that can identify a whale, a super high-spending player in a mobile game, is just as good at finding a high-value shopper who's about to make a big purchase on an e-commerce site. It's the same skill.
And guess what? It's working. This number is huge. An analytics firm called Northbeam found that for some direct-to-consumer brands, AppLovin delivered a 39% higher return on their ad spend than Meta did.
They aren't just dipping their toes in this new market. They are jumping in and delivering better results.
But look, the story isn't all sunshine and record profits. That brings us to Section 5, Secrets and Stumbles. Every massive growth story has some bumps in the road, and AppLovin's is definitely no exception. Their biggest stumble revolved around a part of their business called Array, and some allegations that were, frankly, incredibly damaging. We're talking about secret, non-consensual app installs. So what happened was, the Array unit was accused of using these tricky, deceptive designs to get apps installed on new phones without people really giving clear permission. Now, this wasn't just bad PR. It was a major risk to their reputation, and critically, it put them on the wrong side of Google. So what did AppLovin do? They shut the whole division down basically overnight.
So that brings us to our final section. Is this company the next advertising titan? Let's take a minute and weigh the arguments for and against AppLovin's continued dominance.
Okay, so the bull case is pretty straightforward. Their AI is just flat out better. They keep stealing market share, they succeed in e-commerce, and they become the third giant of digital advertising next to Google and Meta. The bear case, though, is that their whole advantage is built on data, and that's fragile. A single new privacy rule from Apple or Google could cripple their Max and Axon engine, and their e-commerce dreams could just fizzle out.
So which side does the company itself believe in? Well, money talks. They recently authorized a massive $3.3 billion share buyback program. That is an enormous bet on themselves. It's about the most powerful signal you can get that management truly believes the bull case is the reality.
So, at the end of the day, we're left with this ultimate question. Are we watching the birth of a durable, AI-powered titan that's going to build the future of the open internet? Or is this whole thing just an incredibly beautiful, complex machine that's built on a fragile foundation of data that could crack under the slightest bit of pressure? The answer to that is going to shape a multi-billion-dollar piece of the tech world.